and welcome back to another episode of the Otakuology podcast. I'm your host, Otaku Mike. With me, as always, is my co-host, Jin. He's my brother, Graves. And today we're talking about Stranger Things Season 2, Episode 7. Is it The Lost Sister?
Yeah, The Lost Sister.
Okay, I forgot it for a second. I was like, I can't remember what the name of this title is. Okay, you know how last episode...
Honestly, I feel like we should have just watched this one and the next one and then a double recording tonight because this was not the jam.
you know how I said in the last episode that I wasn't a really big fan of this episode?
Yeah.
Okay, so rewatching it, there are parts that I like, but I still hated this episode.
See, and I usually like it, but I had stuff going on, so it was just kind of like, but at the same time, I feel like I was almost sitting there like, you know what? Mike kind of wished this upon us. Because Mike says that sometimes when we're watching this, like, shit's all over the place. And this was one structured, like, one character, one focused episode. And I was like, this motherfucker did this to us.
I don't know if I did this to us, but I will agree with you. It's a very, very structured episode. Seeing as how she wasn't in the last episode at all.
Right? So we got this all together in this one episode, which it's also really weird. And like, I know we keep going back and forth on it of like forgetting what things are, but like thinking
or who's
about
spit in whose hand, apparently.
Yeah. But like this one, like I thought when she put the black makeup and stuff on, like she was older.
Oh yeah?
And like, yeah, in like season 3. And so I'm watching this and we get to the point at the end, which I'm going to jump around because I don't give a shit. We got to the stuff at the end where she does the vision where she sees as Hopper's talking about, like, we know already because we've seen it, where the Demodogs are coming up out of the hole and where Mike goes to the guards.
Yeah.
And she's yelling for Mike and everything. And I'm just like, Mike looks so young right now. Am I watching the right episode? Like, I feel like we're kind of like in season 3 or something like that. And I was like, have to be. Where am I losing shit on?
I will say, when she does get the makeover / glow up in this episode, she does look older, I would say.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because of like the clothing changes that they pick out and stuff, or like the eyeliner that she gets put on her face and stuff.
Yeah.
But she does really much look like a different character in this episode.
Yeah.
But let's get into this and talk about this opening sequence that we get, which is a jumbled up mess of Terry's memories.
Yeah.
Which is what we've been getting in the last episode.
And what they all mean.
And what they all mean and stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
Which is entirely crazy because, like, we had the vision at either the last one or the one before that, where it was them going into her memory and kind of remembering what it was as like 11 and 8 were both there together.
Yeah.
And then that she still had a picture of 8. And so that's what 11 got to use to go find her and whatnot. But it was pretty crazy thinking like, oh, she still had this because of this other child. When it wasn't hers. And of course, then Jane runs off.
Yeah, but we get this whole thing where, like, she tries Terry's sister. I forget what her name is, but she's like, "Look, Terry found some shit," and she started collecting like news clippings of like lost children, and we specifically find one of 8, who is Kali, and Jane tries, or 11 tries to find this person, and she kind of can sort of make them out a little bit, but not really, you
Yeah.
know? And like she's like staying at this woman's house and stuff and sleeping in her old room and like I felt like at this point 11 thought maybe she did have a home at this point. And
Yeah.
then her aunt kind of fucking screws her over.
Yeah. Well, and it's really weird, like why her aunt would want anything to do after knowing kind of the shit that happened. Because I mean, we did get a flashback where like her sister was almost covered in blood
Yeah.
from the quote unquote miscarriage slash C section, and like while that happened and she was there, I'm confused, like why she was like, "Oh, I got a call for them," and I mean, unless it was like just that she's dangerous, but I don't really see that. I mean, it was a pain in the ass.
I don't know if because she was dangerous or maybe just because she was scared and didn't know what she was getting herself into.
Yeah, yeah,
I would say. And 11 ends up running away. Uh, she ends up running away from now the person who she thought was her family and betrays her at
yeah.
this point. And she goes off to, was it Illinois?
I think that's where it is.
It was Illinois she goes off to, and she ends up getting off on this bus station and sort of walking the streets of Illinois, which I like this scene. I like it that they set it up and it really looks like they stepped out into the 80s, especially when it comes to like a city. Like I know we kind of get a little bit of the aesthetic in like the town of Hawkins, but I feel like it's totally on shine in this episode when it comes to like the 80s with all the neon lights and stuff.
Oh yeah, in Illinois.
Yeah, in Illinois. Like I
Yeah,
like this little montage that we get. And then we
yeah.
start going down in
Well,
the
and the song's really good for it too.
yeah, yeah.
And of course, I like where the person like kind of runs into 11, and she's
Yeah.
like mouth breather.
Mouth breather.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
like, so it was fun having like that part of it, but then when we got more full into it, like our little town of Hawkins doesn't seem like it's so like
Big.
big anymore. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like,
Go
I
ahead.
can see like how originally before you rewatch this, where you're like, it's not very good because it does really break that illusion of things for Hawkins.
Yeah.
And it just it plays it up really weird, I think, on how other things could have been done.
Yeah. I
And
don't
I
I
mean,
Go ahead.
I mean, like the other thing that this kind of makes me think about in this situation is like, oh, what is it? Tales and babysitting.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And so like you watch the beginning of that and you're like, oh, they're at their house and their school and everything's fine. And then they actually get into like the meat and potatoes of the movie where they're in the town or in the big city, and like everything just seems so crazy. And
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things like with this episode that you can almost love to hate is that you can be in a big city, but there's also just this crazy shit
Yeah, like
that
11 stepped into a whole new world when it comes to this city. And it's actually The Adventures in Babysitting is what it's called.
okay,
This
okay.
movie. But yeah, she ends up going into like this homeless encampment. Uh, she almost seems like she's gonna get taken a couple of times, but she ends up getting to this warehouse. In this warehouse, we find some derelicts, some ne'er do wells. These are the people who work with Kali. They are the broken. I don't know what you would call them. Misfits.
um yeah, something like that.
Something like that, they're the people that nobody wanted. Apparently, the freaks, everything like
Yeah, yeah.
that. Which I'm like sitting there watching this episode, and I'm like, how are these people freaks? They're just dressed a little different. One of them, I would say, yes, probably has a mental disorder.
Oh, I'd say at least two of them have mental disorders.
But I'm like, how is Funshine like not part of society?
Yeah, yeah.
Is it just
I
because he's a?
agree.
Is
Well, not
it's
only
just
that, Funshine and what do they call it? Call her
Mac Marty? I think is it Marty
that's
Mitch?
the protector. I think it was Mitch.
I don't. I remember it was Axel.
It's the girl that they were like she's our eyes and our protector.
Yeah, yeah.
And like both of them like seem straight up like there's
Normal.
nothing wrong with either one of them.
They're normal.
Yeah. And then I mean then you have Axel that is like, all gung ho and all this other stuff, and then you have Connie, which we know her name is Connie, right?
I think it's Connie. Yeah,
Okay. That we know just like got out of a mental asylum.
yeah. I mean, Axel looks like he's like your stereotypical '80s punk.
Yeah.
Is what he looks like, and he really likes switchblades.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're kind of like
Um,
messing with him, like, "Oh, what are you doing? Getting off the farm with your overalls. You got to go milk some cows or something."
yeah. Well, then at one point he calls 11 a hick.
Yeah, yeah. It's just a weird encounter, I would say.
Yeah. And I mean, um, 11 finds them and walks in, and Axel's kind of going off all gung ho and pulls a knife on her. And it's funny for the kind of person he is to be scared of spiders and Collie to know that. And then for him to know that Collie has those powers and for him to still get scared about it, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, yeah. Jesus, she has the power to make people see things or not see things.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
has the power of illusion.
Yeah. Which of like note, the last time that we saw her do it was like at the first episode of this,
Yeah,
and it was she made a bridge look like it collapsed.
yeah. And they're on a mission, I would say. Although I feel like that mission kind of gets misconstrued at points. But
Oh, most stuff.
her and Elle have like a one-on-one conversation. They're happy to see each other, and they're talking, and she's kind of like, you gotta like let go. Like the policeman is just trying to keep you like caged up, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
And like I feel like she's trying to manipulate her really hard and kind of gaslighting her.
I think Collie is already kind of that way anyway, though,
Yeah,
because of the whole thing with the gas station attendant.
yeah,
And she's like, well, at one point she kind of drops her stuff because she did have it as the gas station attendant went to the bathroom.
yeah. And we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Um, but like what she says to him, I feel like is it kind of goes in line with that stuff.
And so like she convinces Elle to join them, basically. To join them as like a found family, I would say.
Yeah,
And it's interesting because Elle goes along with it because this is the only like real family she knows, like she's ever had or person she's bonded with, basically, other than like the Hawkins crew.
yeah,
And I feel like she sort of found her place in the fact that like they both been through some shit and have seen some shit together.
yeah,
It's almost like trauma bonding, I would say.
yeah,
But they end up waking up the next day, and Collie tells Elle, which this scene always reminds me of the Professor X Magneto scene from X-Men First Class, where they're
yeah.
trying to move the satellite dish, except she's moving a train.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, where she's like,
You had me thinking of the old one where it was Magneto young and he bends the prison gate thingy.
no, no, no. That happens in that same movie. They
Yeah,
recreate that scene. But this is when like he's with Charles and with the kids at the X Mansion or at whatever they are. I forget it's called. Or they're not at the X Mansion, but like he like instead of using his rage, he uses like his happiness to
Yeah.
to fuel his like powers. But in this, it's the reverse opposite, where she's using her rage to fuel her powers.
Yeah.
Which we know, like this isn't the greatest thing ever when Elle decides to rage and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
And then we find out what exactly they're doing. So they are hitting up people who used to work for the Hawkins Lab.
Yeah. They're
Why
part of that
exactly?
experiment chain.
I didn't understand why they were doing this. Like,
I think because Callie just wanted to stick it to the people, so she decided that they would do it that way. And then all these other people kind of just fall under her.
what do the others have to gain from this other than like petty armed robbery?
Um, I think they're just on the boat. It's, sticking it to the man. I don't think there's any more than that. Like Collie like recruited them. Collie's their leader. They go with what Collie, says.
Yeah, it's just a weird dynamic, I have to say,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you would like when I first watched this, I thought maybe like those they were like the other kids because Collie is like a couple years older than Elle, and like I felt like it was a missed opportunity not to have them have superpowers. I feel like it's kind of a letdown that they are just regular humans.
Oh, the other people that are in this gang.
Yeah, yeah. Cause like we are they set things up so nicely, I feel like, to have this somewhat of an expanded world to like there's like what 12 other kids out there or something like that, I think it is. Right?
Yeah, there could be.
Yeah. And not counting 11 and 8. But I felt like it was a missed opportunity because they do kind of in the comics set like there are other kids out there
Yeah,
who
yeah.
who were experimented on in the rooms and stuff, and they had different powers, and that becomes like non-canon. And I think it was a missed opportunity, one, to possibly set up a spin-off with these characters that have more powers. And I think that's what the Duffers were trying to do,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I think they failed. Because one, the thing I hate about this is this fucking plot goes nowhere. This
Yeah.
plot point goes nowhere, and it's the biggest like F you to the fans, I feel like.
I can see that. I mean, the only real thing we got out of it is like, oh yeah, I had a sister out there, but not all of us are like created equally. So
I will say I do like the mindset change of Elle, where she does get a little bit punkish,
yeah,
and she gets that makeover, which I think she looks pretty cool in punk. And
yeah,
I wish she would have kept it, like been like more punkish, but
yeah,
she doesn't. It's like she goes back to square one after this next episode.
yeah, yeah. I could see that because
And I don't go ahead.
it's her doing the stuff like how Max and everybody else. Which while Max isn't more like that, that's kind of a crazy part. I feel like
Yeah.
from being in California.
Yeah. Yeah, and so they end up picking this particular person. I forget what his name is, but he basically was like sort of a prison guard, I think, at the or like a guard at the facility.
Yeah, yeah. I can't remember his name either. I mean, I know him as the priest from Constantine.
Was it Reese?
Maybe.
Reese or Roy, I think it was.
Yeah,
And Elle picks this guy out and she tries to find him. Uh, and they end up finding him eventually, but we end up finding out that he is the guy who like electrocuted Elle's mom,
yeah,
and he like tortured these kids.
yeah,
He
yeah.
tortured these kids, and they're gonna
Had a
get their payback.
had an animal pride.
Well, yeah, with the animal fraud, yeah.
Yeah,
And so they go and they end up going out on the road, and this is where we get the scene where they go stop at the gas
convenience store.
station. And you want to take this
Yeah,
scene?
yeah. The gas station attendant goes into the bathroom, and everybody splits up. They're taking stuff. 11's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go get the Eggos,"
Did you see the
which,
one girl grab Tampax?
yeah,
I
yeah.
was like, that's a reliable person right there. You never know when you're going to need some Tampax.
Yeah. Well, and then I mean, like, Axel went behind the thing and started like pulling out a bunch of cigarettes, and then
I think money too.
yeah, and then like Fun like went over and pulled out a thing of beer, which was a little shocking, I have to say, because he's a big guy,
Yeah.
so only pulling out one thing of beer kind of seemed pointless. Um,
Yeah,
But
I
of
guess
course,
so.
they were probably like, "Oh, we're getting ready for this hit kind of thing. We probably need to be more like minded
Yeah.
or more like But I mean, you can just tell like they are very like they want to act like they're Robin Hood esque when there's problems with that.
Yeah, and their plan kind of goes awry too
Yeah,
at this point because they trick the clerk into thinking his toilet's overflowing.
yeah. And then that's where I'm kind of confused: is when did Collie like drop the thing? Like
Yeah.
when did she? And the other thing is, did she do it and have it that way for 11? You
Here's
know,
the thing though. There was a lock on the door. They could have locked the door on the outside,
they could have.
but they didn't.
No.
Oh yeah,
Mm,
that's a good point to see that maybe she did do it for 11
yeah, like
because
she was
the
trying to see if she would protect Axel or whatever.
yeah, and she like ends up using her powers to throw the clerk into like a bunch of styrofoam coolers.
Oh yeah, I was like, would that really knock somebody out?
I thought the same thing. I was like, I don't think that knocked him out.
Yeah, I mean, he must have went through him and like hit his head on the wall too.
Yeah,
But
yeah, and then they end up running away from the cops. I think it is
yeah, yeah,
because I think the guy calls the cops or something, and they end up actually at the
the
guy's
guy's
house.
house.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
guy's house, and they go in there and they're like, okay, he's alone. 11 says he's alone. He's
Well,
alone.
and we also get the little montage of them driving to the house and them changing out different masks to see
Oh
which one
yes,
11's going to wear. Which, to me, it all feels like that's a plot to say, hey, like, hey, you're part of the family, but at the same time, it's really not. It's we're going to use you because Collie did kind of bring that up as it was, you know, um, going forward. And then we have the whole thing with this guy, where we do get the part where they ask him the questions and all that other stuff, and he ends up like telling him, "Oh, I didn't do that," and Collie's like, "L, just take him out," and
yeah,
11's like, "No, I can't do that," and then Collie's going to do it, and L stops her. So I think Collie is really in the position that if she's not the mastermind, then it doesn't need to be anybody else.
yeah,
And when it happens that way, and she tells Elle basically, like, this is your warning, don't step in front of me again because I won't stop you from making your choice, but you can't stop me from making mine either.
yeah. Here's my question about this part of the episode:
Okay.
did Elle know that the kids were there and just didn't say anything, or did she not know the kids were there?
Elle or
Yeah, Elle,
I don't think she knew the kids were there.
because she says that he was alone, but like, how could she not know the kids were there?
You mean like she wiretapped into knowing that the kids were there?
Maybe, I don't know.
She only was focusing on him, so she didn't know that the kids were there.
Oh, and the plan just backfires.
Yeah.
Backfires horribly.
And I think as it progressed, then she was like, I do know that the kids are here.
Okay.
So then that's why she was trying to like get everything moved along and get them moved out of there, because it was like, why are we doing this?
Yeah. And so it backfires. It
Yep.
backfires on them horribly. They get back to the safe house and they're kind of hanging out, dealing with stuff. And this part really got me when I first watched it.
Yeah.
It was the part with uh Elle was talking to Collie, and then Collie is talking to her about, I forget what exactly they're talking about. I think they're talking about taking out the bad people.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay to take out these bad people. They did bad things. And then Brenner shows up. When I first watched this, I thought Brenner was working with Callie.
Oh yeah. You didn't
Yeah.
realize it was an illusion?
At first, I did not. And
Yeah.
then I was like, oh, this is an illusion. This is definitely an illusion.
Yeah.
And it was interesting to see how, like, Elle dealt with it.
Yeah.
I would say, in the fact that, like, she didn't know how to, like, control herself. Like, it's almost like she had kind of like a little bit of a panic attack, I would say.
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
much def.
but we do end up seeing the police show up, and the police come in because they
So
end
much
up,
for somebody being your eyes.
yeah, they end up actually noticing that I think they're doing like some kind of bust down in like the homeless encampment.
Yeah.
And one of them notices, oh, like that was the car from like whatever, I think it was one of the hits that they did.
Yeah.
And they track them back there, and they end up busting down the place. And I love this scene. This scene's a really cool scene. It happens so fast, but the scene where they're pretending to be invisible,
Yeah. Yeah.
I really like this scene because I'm like, they have to stay perfectly still, and like the looks on their faces was like perfect, I would say.
Yeah.
Like their cigarettes hanging out, one getting ready to shoot one of them. Like it was a good use of powers, I would say.
Yeah. It was fun.
It was fun. It was fun and a little bit of an intense scene, I would say.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of like, in spy movies or whatever, where they have the laser wall.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so like Axel was the one that you really get to see it with, but as the one of the police officers, he's kind of got his hands up and he's just kind of like rotating himself around
Yeah.
so that the guy doesn't run into him.
Yeah.
And that's what it kind of reminds me of that. But then I was like, man, they cleared out of there really fast for them to be able to escape. Like they didn't leave one guy in the room with them. Like that was kind of crazy,
Yeah.
especially as many guards or as many police officers as we saw run in there.
Yeah. They just bypass them all.
Yeah, yeah,
Which they end up going to their van, which gets riddled with bullets. They jump in. I thought some of them died, but I could be
the
misremembering things.
of the freaks.
Yeah.
No, none of them died.
Um. Well, at the time, I remember them like one of them dying or something like that. But I could be about like a Mandela effect type of thing.
Yeah, yeah,
And I like this scene where we see this giant metal wall come up,
yeah,
and they're like, "What do we do with this wall?"
yeah.
I
See,
lo-
and I really like that scene too. I wish there was a little more fantasy to some of Collie's things.
Yeah.
Which I do think we got a little bit of a D&D reference when she is telling us about the people.
Oh yeah.
Like she was almost putting a class to everyone.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Like here's the fighter or whatever.
yeah, yeah. But
Yeah.
like, other than that, like it just seemed like it was kind of
Yeah, I get it. And then this is where we get the whole thing where they're getting in the van, and Elle basically is like, "I can't go with you.
I got to go back.
I gotta go back," because she sees this thing where Hopper is in distress. Mike is actually like trying to warn them about everything that's happening
At the lab,
at the lab, and she's like, "Oh my god, like Mike, like
which
what?"
I think it's funny that when she originally looked at it and she said, "Oh," or it said, "Oh, it's a trap," then that's when the police were walking up too.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So it's like kind of at the same time, which we did miss a piece that when she was checking in, and that was her getting Hopper his
Uh,
apology message.
yes, I forgot about that.
Um, which we do get some of that stuff, but yeah, I mean, she wants to go back home. And then we get this kind of like sweet scene at the end where she looks at the way that she does, and this little sweet old black lady is sitting across, and she goes, "Hey, can I sit with you?" And she scoots over and she goes, "Are you going back home to your parents?" Like this old lady's got to know. Like she knows that the big city can turn you and all this other stuff, and
Yeah,
I think that was kind of like, you're returning home and you don't have to worry about part of the other stuff that you were dealing with. So she has where that's coming in. She's like, "Oh, you going to see your parents and things like that?" And she's like, "No, I'm going to see my friends." And we don't really get very much into it because I figured like the old lady was going to be, "All right, I'm sure you just left some friends too." Um, but then she's like, "Oh no, I'm also coming home," and so it all kind of falls into place with that, and you're like, "Oh yes, it's exactly what we needed to happen."
yeah, yeah. I when I thought she was gonna be like one of the people from like the facility,
Yeah, yeah,
but
that
she's
would have been
not.
crazy.
She's not. She's just an old lady, and we get like the little mic drop of like Elle going home.
Yeah,
Like,
returning to Indiana.
yeah, yeah. Which it's interesting, I would say.
Yeah, well, and it's interesting in this episode how we had an event where you're leaving Hawkins, and that's when Nancy and Jonathan went to go see Murray, and then Elle left all the way out of Indiana and is now returning home. So it's kind of crazy that we do have a lot of this. You're leaving the thing, but you're always going to come home.
Yeah,
So
yeah, and like I said before, this episode is probably one of the outliers of like the weirdest episodes.
yeah,
I get it what they were trying to do with Elle, but I feel like it falls flat in a lot of different scenarios,
yeah,
especially with the fact that they never bring this up again until the final season.
yeah, that's true.
Like Callie never comes back in season 3, season 4. She only is in it for like the last couple episodes of the season.
Of
And
this
like,
one,
yeah, of the series.
yeah, she's in like the end of the first half, so she's in episode 4, and then she's in 5, 6, 7, 8, and I don't think she's in 9, or she is in 9, and that's where she dies.
Yeah. I don't know.
Um,
I personally feel like they wanted to have like a little bit of an X-Men thing going on.
yeah,
And somebody was like, nah, let's not do that. So
yeah.
it's just drop plot holes.
Well, and I
Or
wish that they
plots.
would have, because I mean, like the thing is we also see back in the past, and we know that it's 11 as like a little child, but like whenever we do have Henry in like season 4, we never see a kid that looks like Collie.
No, we don't.
So, I mean, that was kind of another weird thing that happened. Now, that is, we're missing some things when we moved forward with part of it. And if it's true, why didn't we have another kid that had powers similar to Collie's instead of all of them kind of being like
Force
L's?
pushers?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I have no idea. I have no idea at all when it comes to this. Like it's just a big outlier for the Stranger Things like series as a whole.
yeah,
I feel like they wanted to do something with this and they just dropped all these plots to focus on something else.
yeah. I
You
agree
know,
with you because I think that's also why they did part of the stuff with the other plot points, like you said originally in the comic.
yeah.
and then it just never went anywhere. So I think that's kind of what it was.
Yeah. Like
That
I don't think they really planned ahead.
yeah, yeah.
But all in all, like, what did you think of this episode?
Um, I enjoyed this episode. I mean, like I said, I usually enjoy this episode more. Um, but I agree with you entirely. Like, this is the outlier episode. Like, if there's one that we could have kind of done without, it was this one.
Yeah.
Um, and it's just like everything was rolled into this episode. Like 11 trying to go home because she was like, "Well, I'm done with Hopper because the grass is going to be greener on the other side if I could find my mom." And then she did, and then her aunt like basically screwed that up, and then she was like, "Oh, well, I have a sister out there and I'll go do this." And like there was a lot of different things with that that's almost like, "Oh, well, I'll find a better family." And then it just ended up, well, you still love the family that you have and you have to go back to that because they loved you and loving's hard. But yeah, I mean, this one's just, it's I.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see how much the fan base turned on this idea
Yeah.
for Stranger Things. And I don't know if that had influence on things moving forward, but like they pivoted so hard away from this.
Yeah.
Like so they don't even really mention it, after this season
Yeah. Yeah.
until we get to the final season.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's kind of the weird stuff where we have the stuff that happened in episode 4 too, with that plot line of including Russia. And I think I kind of like wanted to like poke holes in what they were originally doing, like in the next season having the Russians there and then actually going to Russia in season 4. And like it's all over the place on different people saying, "Yeah, I like this one," or "No, I don't like this one," or different things like that. And you're just like, "What? Okay."
Yeah.
Um, it's just all kind of oddball stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Very much so.
but no, if I had to give it a number wise, I would say for this one, I'd probably give it like a 3.
I give it like a 2.
Okay.
Yeah. I give it like a 2.
Yeah.
Which if you add those up, it's a 5.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, because the lowest out of everything else, I could probably say is like a 3.5, the lowest so far. But this one just doesn't do it for me.
Yeah, yeah, no, you're right. You're absolutely right.
And I
Uh,
think I think too, it's the whole plot point. Like, I like the fact that in the little room that Collie and 11 share, that there is like the Mystic's hand. That's the neon sign.
yeah,
Like that was a cool thing, but like nothing's gonna compare to any of it than us seeing one of the boys' rooms as like there's a Ninja Turtle action figure or something like that. Like, and there's nothing like that here in
yeah,
the city, which you would think there would be.
yeah. You think there would be, but there's not.
Yeah, yeah.
But anyways, thank you for listening. Make sure to go check out our YouTube channel or our Instagram at Otakuology. So let's check us out on all podcast platforms. Let us know how we're doing. Are you enjoying the Stranger Things coverage? Let us know down in the comments. And yeah, Jen, where can I find you?
You can find me at Bard's Tavern on Instagram. I also just started a TikTok, so you can go follow me over there. And you can follow me everywhere where Otakuology lies. So, yeah.
I don't have a TikTok, but you can follow me on Instagram at the Otaku Mike or at Otakuology, as well as catch me on my YouTube channel, The Otaku Mike, where I talk all about comic books. Yeah, it's a fun time.
Hell yeah.
It's a fun time. And I want to say thank you for listening, and we'll catch you on the next episode.
Yeah, we will see you next Tuesday.